It can only be attributable to human error.
You're entering paranormal.
He meddled in things that you keep before. He meddled in things. He meddled in things.
Where will we go next? Just phantom from another time.
No one, Mr. Mulder.
That's it, man. Game over, man. Game over.
That is one big pile of shit.
Welcome everyone to another episode of Cryptid Campfire. Today I'm your host, Eli Watson. That's right, I'm completely solo today. I don't have Alex, Jasmine, or Stefan with me currently. We're in the middle of a break, but I figure, you can't always go camping with your friends, but you can go camping by yourself. And that's what I'm doing today. And, well, I guess I'm not camping by myself. I'm camping with y'all. So, welcome to a solo expedition. It'll be a fun one today. We're talking about the Alabama White Thang. That's correct. That is not a typo. It is not me pronouncing thing funny. It is White Thang. Yes. If you're from Alabama and you haven't heard of the Alabama White Thang, that's okay. Apparently, not a whole lot of people know about the Alabama White Thang. Now, let's get into it. Location, Alabama. More specifically, northern Alabama. I have here that there is a triangle, a supposed triangle of sightings between the counties of Morgan, Etowah, and Jefferson. And an even smaller triangle between the cities of Birmingham, Goldsden, and Huntsville. Yes. So somewhere in northern Alabama, there have been reports of the White Thang. Now, getting on to what the White Thang is. Bigfoot. It's basically Bigfoot, often referred to as the albino Bigfoot. Typically, what people think of when you say the Yeti, right? Like a white Bigfoot. That's what the Alabama White Thang looks like. 5 to 9 feet tall, white hair. And this is where it gets real tricky because I'm hesitant to call this a Sasquatch-like creature because of the varying descriptions that it has. So take a look. Some report it having red eye shine. Others report it having no eyes, no ears. It's just completely white. Some report it as a bipedal ape-like creature, while others report it as standing on 2 legs but running on all 4s. Which is not necessarily a not Sasquatch-like characteristic. There's plenty of reports of Sasquatch running on all 4s and moving incredibly fast at those speeds, or at the when in all 4s. Sorry, I'm a little tired. It's a little late, but I'm doing this episode. In addition, there's even more descriptions of the Alabama White Thang as looking like a kangaroo with a cat-like head. I could dig up nothing else other than that general vague description, but hey, who knows? So we're dealing with a multitude of different descriptions. It is possible that this could be a catch-all term, as many of our other cryptids have been. I'm blanking on some of the other names, but y'all know, if y'all are longtime listeners of the show, you know we've discussed the topic of various catch-all terms for cryptids. I guess like a bunyip or something like that. As far as sounds go, it is seemingly always, most consistently reported as sounding as a screaming woman, and that is terrifying. I mean, I don't think I could do that. If I heard that, I would be running the other way. Also interesting to note is that it supposedly always shows up to funerals. I was reading one article that said that it was so common, or so commonly believed, that the White Thang would show up at funerals that little kids would just expect to see it. Why it was drawn to funerals, if there's even any truth to that, remains to be seen. So, I know a lot of sightings occur in the Monte Sano mountain area. And in addition to that, there's a lot of Bigfoot sightings in the Monte Sano mountain area. So allow me to pause it for a moment. If you listen to our Southern Fried Bigfoot review, our 40th rewatch, or Cryptid Cinema Club, if you will, Chester Moore Jr., a journalist, introduces this theory that due to encroachment on the habitat of these Sasquatch-like creatures, that they've been forced to inbreed, resulting in mutated-looking Sasquatch. So is it possible that the Alabama White Thang is a mutated Sasquatch, and that's why it's seen around other Bigfoot areas? Of course, that doesn't account for the more... there's one description of it looking like a white lion. I'm not sure if a Bigfoot on all fours would look like a lion, or if it was just a misidentification of a Sasquatch-like creature, or just something wholly made up entirely. I don't really know. There's not a whole lot on this cryptid, but I'm going to continue giving you what I got. It's supposedly spotted in caves or in drainage ditches in Jones Valley along Governor's Drive, my bad. Sightings have also occurred in Happy Hollow, Walnut Grove, Moody's Chapel, and Wheeler Wildlife Rescue. I have not thoroughly investigated what these regions are like, but suffice it to say, they're probably Squatch-like territory. I know Alabama is a hotspot, not necessarily a hotspot, but there is Bigfoot activity out there. I know it's heavily wooded, so there's a Facebook group created by Alabama White Thang researchers. The Facebook group is of the same name, Alabama White Thang. As far as I can tell, there's not a whole lot of groundbreaking discoveries there, but it is interesting, and it is a cryptid community, so it's definitely worth looking into if you guys are all about that. It is also reported that, or it's spread around via the internet, that the sightings of the Alabama White Thang go back to the early 1900s. As far as specific sightings or examples of this, there are none. In fact, none of the sightings I was able to dig up include any sort of dates or details. The most detailed information I could find on the Alabama White Thang was actually in a short documentary. It's about 18 minutes long. And it's done by a YouTuber named Spectral Wolfpack Paranormal. And this guy has dozens, maybe even hundreds of Bigfoot and other cryptid-related videos. As far as I know, he's the only one who's done a dedicated video on the Alabama White Thang. And it's actually pretty good. He interviews a couple of witnesses. And they're all pretty young folk. He goes to the Monte Sano mountain area. He goes to some of these places like Happy Hollow and Walnut Grove. And just kind of goes around with his camera and films it. So as far as I know, that's probably the most documented research into this phenomena that I can think of. Also, in the documentary, there is one lady who reportedly saw the Alabama White Thang while walking her dog, and her dog ran away from the creature. She said it was running so fast that she put her foot in the ground and it started dragging her behind it. And she also described it as running on all fours. And this is the Alabama White Thang, not the dog. The dog is dragging her. the Alabama White Thang's running away on all fours, the dog's running away from the White Thang, so on and so forth. It's pretty interesting, not gonna lie, because the dog aversion thing. There's, I mean, if you guys remember on Bigfoot Mountain, we were talking about how dogs and Bigfoot don't seem to get along. Dogs are often scared of Bigfoot-type creatures when they're around, and it's linked, in my mind, to the Alabama White Thang here by seeing a dog run away from it or try to run away from it despite being on a leash held by its owner. I think that's quite telling. To me, it doesn't seem like they're making that up because, I mean, if you're not into Bigfoot, you don't really know that, you know? And who's to say I wouldn't accuse Spectral Wolfpack Paranormal of staging interviews or anything like that. He seems like a very honest dude. So, I think it's legit. I've also heard it referred to as the she-devil, which might explain a little bit of the screaming like a woman type thing. Which, you know what? That actually kind of reminds me of the Ozark Howler a little bit. But again, like I said, I mean, Spectral Wolfpack Paranormal goes around and kind of asks people if they've even heard of the Alabama White Thang. A lot of people just say no. Whether that's a cultural thing where they don't want to discuss it or they just literally have no idea what it is. I think it's just people have literally no idea what it is. I mean, like I'm saying, I mean, I'm mostly done with the information share here. There doesn't seem to be a whole lot of information on the Alabama White Thang. And I wouldn't be surprised if too many people hadn't heard of it. It's just another one of those tall tales, I guess. I've heard some theories that it's just misidentified albino animals that have culminated over time to be this White Thang-like creature. Also on top of that, I was reading one article, I think it was either the paranormalsite.com or Small Town Myths. I think it was the paranormalsite.com, where the author of the article was discussing how her great-grandmother had witnessed the Alabama White Thang. Her family's from Alabama, from northern Alabama, somewhere in there, and that the Alabama White Thang would watch her as she hung up clothes on the clothesline. This would probably be early 1900s, correct? And that is also in line with a Sasquatch-like creature, as if you guys watched The Legend of Boggy Creek, or at least listened to our Cryptid Cinema Club on The Legend of Boggy Creek, there's all sorts of stories of a Sasquatch-like creature just appearing at the edge of the wood line. And that's what the author's great-grandmother was claiming. And she goes on to write that a lot of people just viewed it as some sort of animal that was in the area, not some sort of paranormal creature or thing to be feared. It was the White Thang, and it was there. They didn't know what it was, but it was there. So who knows? Who knows? I know there's a lot of old school, serious people that say they've seen it, as long as younger folk who've seen it, and as far as what I can tell, have nothing to gain in claiming they have seen it. But yeah, I mean, that covers the Alabama White Thang. It's a tall tale for sure, whether it's real or just a folk tale, or a tall tale, if you will, remains to be seen, and only time will tell, or maybe time won't tell, who knows. I would like to share some of my sources. Spectral Wolfpack Paranormal, the YouTube channel, highly recommend you check that out. I would just type in Spectral Wolfpack Paranormal Alabama White Thang. That's what I did, it came right up. CashNetUSA.com, the Tumblr blog Urban Legends and Cryptids, Small Town Myths, the ParanormalSite.com, and AL.com. Most of those sites only have like one paragraph, and it's all the same thing. Makes it quite difficult to pull up good information. So anyways, hope you guys found this entertaining. Hopefully I wasn't too boring all by myself. And I'll probably be doing a couple more solo ventures before we really get out on the road here. And we come back with some juicy new cryptid episodes. And I want to thank you all again, Patreon listeners. You guys really do make this show possible, and you really make me want to just keep giving you more content. I mean, that's why I'm here by myself, man. I just want to give you all more content and more things to discuss. And if you guys like this, if you guys like the solo thing, let me know. If you don't, also let me know. But that's probably not going to change me from doing a couple more. So, see you guys next time. I think the next episode's going to be an interview with a major person in the cryptid world. So keep an eye out for that, and I'll see y'all soon. Peace.
This podcast is a part of Straight Up Strange Productions. Discover more shows like this one at straightupstrange.com.